Nick Bosa, are you mad too? Yeah. Why are you mad? My groin hurts. I can't play. Why are you mad? I'm mad because I can't sack the quarterback. What's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. Welcome back to Rise Up Rundown. And if you're new here, welcome. Okay, so the Falcons have yet another big game coming up, this time versus the San Francisco 49ers. And I guess it's another revenge game in some sort because we are playing Kyle Shanahan yet again, but this is a completely new roster. So I don't know if they really have anything against Kyle Shanahan, but I'll still consider it a revenge game because it's just too historic not to think about the Falcons versus Kyle Shanahan, this big rivalry that goes on. So there's a lot of things to talk about in this game preview, but let's go over them right now. So we'll start with key additions and losses. First with the San Francisco 49ers, as they seem to always be injured every single year. So that's already one thing to take here. There is a lot of injured players, one of them being Trey Lance, and so we have to play Jimmy Garoppolo. And we're kind of all familiar with who he is, just a quarterback that can at least manage the game, but he's not really this game-changing quarterback. So that's already one thing. And then this reminds me of the Browns game. The 49ers' best pass rusher is out, just like how the Browns' best pass rusher, Myles Garrett, was out. So that's a relief. We don't have to worry about Nick Bosa, even though he was actually having a monster year. He maybe would have won Defensive Player of the Year, but thankfully we don't have to worry about him. And then they have Marlon Mack and Tevin Coleman at running back, so that's kind of interesting, but I guess we'll just see what happens there. And then Kyle Shanahan is their head coach. I know there's a completely new Falcons team, but maybe they still know a little bit about Kyle Shanahan, and maybe they know some things about his playbook. I don't know. Arthur Smith's playbook really isn't that different from Kyle Shanahan, so I don't know. It's just something to point out. And then the Falcons, Deion Jones is traded. I don't think there's anything to really say about that. I will forever cherish the great moments that Deion Jones gave us in Atlanta, and he was fun to watch, but I'll be honest, I'll say it as it is. Thank God he's gone, because the homers on Twitter were acting like he was still prime Deion Jones. He's not good anymore, dude. Deion Jones sucks, and it was just this annoying situation anyway, because, I didn't know if he was still playing. It's was he still even on the team? It's just what is he doing here? Why is he here? Just get rid of him. So, honestly, thank God he's gone. And then Kyle Pitts is, maybe coming back. So, if he is, obviously that is huge. What are some things to watch out for from this 49ers squad? So there's a lot, and when you talk about it, it kind of seems like the Falcons don't have a chance realistically. But considering we've been in every game this year, obviously there's a chance. And in my schedule predictions, I've kind of been on and off about this. Sometimes I said we'd win, and then sometimes I said we'd lose. So I don't really remember exactly how they went, but I know it was going to be tough regardless. So let's go over it. 49ers offensive line, that is something to watch out for. I think per game they've only allowed less than 2 sacks, so that offensive line has held up pretty well. And then the wide receiver corps is pretty good with George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, and of course Deebo Samuel. And the Falcons have just been absolutely miserable with screen passes, as they seem to always be bad with screen passes. So yeah, I'm worried about that. And then, the Falcons secondary has been a little on and off. AJ Terrell didn't really have himself a great game last week, but he's had a good game versus the Browns and Seahawks. And Richie Grant and Jalen Hawkins can make plays, but they're not, super consistent. Casey Hayward, the same thing. This Falcons secondary is just on and off. And then, obviously, the biggest thing to watch out for is this defense, as it is ranked number 1 statistically by ESPN. They have the number 1 ranked defense, so already that's a scare. And then for the 49ers pass rush, I know most of it was Nick Bosa, but they have 21 sacks on the year. And their pass defense has allowed only 2 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, I want to say, yes. So, especially that they're playing Marcus Mariota, this is pretty scary. So, all of that combined, it doesn't really seem like the Falcons have a chance. But what are some possible breakouts for the Falcons? I'll still put the secondary. I kind of copy and pasted what I said about them in the last game preview. You know, A.J. Terrell didn't really play well against Mike Evans and the Bucs, but against DK Metcalf, he played pretty well. And that Seahawks offense has actually been really good. So that's worth noting that at least A.J. Terrell could lock down DK Metcalf. And he was able to lock down Amari Cooper. So maybe he could lock down someone here like Deebo Samuel or, I don't know, George Kittle, someone. So I think he still can have a good game here. Even though he hasn't had like a better year than last year, he's kind of bouncing back. So, you know, there's that. And then Richie Grant and Jalen Hawkins can still make some plays. Casey Hayward has been a little better than he did in the beginning of the year. So I'll still put the secondary as a possible breakout for the Falcons. And also, you know, like, it's only Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, we kind of know who he is. Like, he's just kind of an inconsistent quarterback anyway. So there's that. And then the run game I'll also put as a possible breakout because that's kind of been our offense all year. The running game has just been absolutely outstanding. Even though Cordero Patterson is out, and that is a problem, but Caleb Huntley and Tyler Algier have carried us, and Marcus Mariota can use his legs as a quarterback, so there's that. But what are some keys to victory? You gotta outplay them, man. Like, this is the number one defense, and we kind of know who Jimmy Garoppolo is. As long as you lock down the receivers that he has, I think Jimmy Garoppolo probably just won't be all that much of a factor. And we just got to outplay them. Like Marcus Mariota, if Kyle Pitts comes in, utilize him and utilize Drake London, man. We probably can't run the ball and beat the 49ers. We have to like get better on the passing game, but we have to outplay them everywhere. Like, they still have a great offense, so outplay them on defense and on offense. Just outplay them is all I can really say. And lock down the receivers, and that home field just has to be pretty loud. Let's take advantage here. But those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Other than that, I will see you guys with a video this Tuesday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Love and appreciate y'all for the support. And as always, rise up.